The most challenging thing people have, I feel, is not in understanding that the answer is easy. Fix your life easily. The easy answer, the truth, always the same. Fix your life easily. Hello, my lovely peaches. It's Sunday. And I have not brushed my hair yet this day. It is 11:27 a.m. I slept late, and this is the unbrush that I have purchased, and it is a real one. And I was combing my hair the other day. I haven't shared it yet, but I'm just gonna comb my hair while I chat for a minute. And yeah, so the point that I wanted to make in this video, while I'm watching another video right now that I want to share, is that, okay, well, I was checking in my email, and I got an email from somebody that, a creator, who I will not name because I don't like to disparage people. And I used to follow her for years, and I loved her stuff, and then I kind of stopped listening to her stuff. And okay, but before her, there was somebody else I used to listen to, who I will say his name, Matthew Hussey. And I absolutely love and adore Matthew Hussey's teachings. He's a love coach, and he teaches a lot about healthy romantic relationships. So the point of this video is to just say that I find it amazing that, okay, so actually I saw the email come in from the lady that I used to follow, and the title of it gave me the ick, and I was like, you know what? I am gonna delete this. I'm gonna actually unsubscribe. And I just found myself kind of amazed that, wow, I'm actually unsubscribing from her. I followed her for years, but lately, I don't know, everything that she puts out just gives me the ick. It just feels like it's just not that healthy. It's just actually not the healthiest way of looking at things. And so I unfollowed her. And at the same time, hold on. Actually, I want to take off this sweater. I'm all bundled up and I'm waiting. Ugh. Ugh. This is a glider, so it's hard to get out. I'm waiting for a heating pad that I purchased late last night for same day delivery. Not a heating pad, a heating blanket, actually, because my heating pad that I had for 2 years died. I think, to be honest, it was my fault, probably, because I was sitting on it. Right, so now I gotta scooch my butt in and I do like a swoop around to get my butt back in. So yeah, it died. But I think it's because I was sitting on it and I messed up the connection. You're not supposed to sit on it. Anyway, so a new one is coming. I ordered a brown one because it could arrive faster, and a purple one to share with my son. It's his favorite color right now. Anyway, okay, back to what I was saying. So Matthew Hussey, he teaches things like the moment that someone loses interest in you or reveals to you, no, I'm not interested. I don't want a relationship. I'm not looking for what you're looking for. Your attraction to them, if you were a healthy person, should just like automatically cease. Because healthy attraction is mutual. And in love is mutual. Actually, somebody who's always posting, young Pueblo. Let me get the right name. Right here, Young Pueblo. He said, a person can be in love and also unprepared for that love, which I disagreed with. And I said, I think if they're not prepared to care for that love, then they're in lust or infatuation. but it can't be in loveness. If they're not prepared, in love is a mature, mutual investment, not something you can do by yourself or be in by yourself. Redefining in loveness. That's me on Twitter if you're interested in following me there. And so the purpose of this video is to just say, Matthew Hussey has an extremely healthy perspective, and he truly, truly helps millions of people. So the interesting thing is that I was following him a few years ago. I was like, yeah, these things that he's saying are so true and so healthy. And then I was really obsessed with trying to manifest a specific person. And Matthew Hussey does not teach that. Nothing that he teaches is going to help you manifest a specific person regardless of circumstances, because he doesn't believe in that, because that's not healthy. So the whole point I was saying is that I got an email, or I should say like a newsletter, from that other person who I now perceive as actually kind of toxic, and I unsubscribed to her. And then at the same time I got an email from Matthew Hussey, which he said, I'm putting out a movie, which made me have a big smile because I can't wait for it. But also because the truth of his message has persevered. The healthiness and the clarity and the good message that he teaches has persevered through my obsessive desire to manifest a specific person. It's persevered through my wanting to be alone for a long time. It's held up. It's held up against the test of time, and it holds up to a variety of circumstances, situations, and it doesn't rely on magical thinking and pushing an agenda on people like, just be Delulu, just ignore everything that's real. Okay, and the person that I unfollowed, she's not one of those. Those are other people I unfollowed, the Delulus and the ignore reality and just pretend like the person never said the things that they said that you don't like. Like, that's a good way to end up like Caitlin Armstrong. In jail forever because you're a murderer, because you killed somebody, because you was jealous, because you tried to get rid of the 3P. She thought she could get rid of the 3P, which means the third party, the third person, the other person. The person that your obsession likes. Just to pay a tribute to Anna Moriah Wilson, who went by Mo. She was tragically, fatally shot by Caitlin Armstrong. And just to add a little terrible note, that's the murderer. I learned listening to the closing arguments that Caitlin Armstrong, I'm going to go check if my heating blanket came. Caitlin Armstrong shot, well, first of all, she stalked her. And Colin was Caitlin's boyfriend that she lived with. They were kind of on again, off again, and he wasn't that into her, to be honest. And even though him and Mo dated briefly, and then they decided, when him and Caitlin went on a break, they dated briefly, but then they were like, nah, I guess we're better as friends. I think he might have actually still liked her. I don't know. He had her name and his phone under some other name that he made up. So, he was definitely doing some shady shit that would make a jealous and suspicious woman, triggered. She was also like helping him in a business sense. So she had all his passwords to all his devices and everything, all his accounts. Anyway, the terrible part was that she stalked them all day long. She waited for him to drive away, and then she went into the house of friend who was also named Caitlin. Coincidentally, Mo was staying with a friend for the week or whatever, whose name was also Caitlin. And the other Caitlin went to the house, apartment, and shot Mo in the head 2 times. Then stood over her fucking body and shot her in the heart.
That's straight up cold-blooded.
That is the extreme. Hold up, rewind. I had to literally stop uploading the video so I could jump back in to say, no. She didn't just shoot her in the head twice. She shot her in the back of the head. She shot her in the fucking face. Then she stood over her body and shot her in the heart. This was an evil, vindictive, jealous. She said, I'm gonna shoot your brain, your fucking beautiful face, and your beautiful heart. That is some cold-blooded murder of somebody who thinking they can manifest somebody regardless of circumstances, and nothing you do or say matters, and you can get rid of the 3P at all costs. So now Mo is gone forever. Her family and friends grieve and will never replace her. She was a rising star, and whatever Caitlin had that she could have done in her life, she was like a yoga person. Now she's spending the rest of her life in jail. So, moral of the story, don't be a hater. If somebody doesn't like you, move the fuck on. Girl could have moved on. If she had just moved out and moved on, she could have been happy with somebody else right now. But no, she wanted to manifest that guy no matter what. Let's find the beautiful Mariah. Oh, she was a professional biker. Oh gosh. Oh man. So she was a professional biker.
Even more horrific, she was 1 week away from turning 26 years young, a baby.
Oh, jeez. So rest in peace, Mo. And, you know, that's an extreme version. That's an extreme end of the spectrum of someone saying, I can manifest anyone I want to, regardless of circumstances. And another thing that many of those so-called manifesting teachers teach, which is get rid of the 3P, meaning remove the third person, the third party, whoever you're jealous over, get rid of them. And obviously that messaging can go to the fatal, tragic end in an unhinged mind. And that is an unhinged way to think. That is an unhinged message. And another point of this, It's Easy, Fix Your Life, is that any message that ultimately, well, when a message is healthy, it might not be easy to do, but it's right. Like, it has integrity and it feels right. Things that sound weird and off, they usually are, because like there's a difference between, it sounds weird and off to say eat fruits and vegetables, get fresh air and sunshine, drink water. That's health. And it might feel off to you because it's so basic, and it just feels like that can't be it. That can't be all there is to it. But it is that's all there is to it. Just like with love. Well, if it's not mutual, if it's not a mutual, co-desired, co-invested in, mutually created relationship, it's not healthy, period. Period. I'm talking about romantic love. I'm not talking about all the other kinds of, but even all the other kinds of love, if it's not a mutually desired, created, healthy relationship, then it's something else. Okay, but if you want in love, here at Love Dreaming Peach, in love is defined as a mutually desired, invested in, co-created relationship that two people are investing in, and no hate or disparagement to polyamorous folks, but I don't mess with that. So if you're polyamorous, I'm not judging you, but I don't teach how to be healthy in that way because I'm about monogamy. I personally believe it is so hard to find one person to be compatible with, to get along with, and all that. If you want healthy polyamory, maybe there's probably other people who can teach you about that. That's not my jam, so I don't get jelly with that. Okay? Okay. So, also, another point. So as I was talking about Lojong slogans, which, where's the book? Here's the book. And I do need to continue, as I said, reading them out. There is a Lojong slogan. Let's see, which one is it? It's all dharmas agree at one point. Which number is it? Number 19. All dharmas agree at one point. Dharma.
Dharma.
In Buddhism, the nature of reality regarded as a universal truth taught by the Buddha and the teachings of Buddha, an aspect or truth of reality.
Dharma.
Which means, so dharmas are the teaching, the Buddhist teachings, and any kind of Buddhist teaching. So all dharmas agree at one point means basically at the heart of all the different teachings, there's concepts to teach you a thing. There's practices you can do. There's techniques, there's methods, there's modalities. All of that is true. But ultimately, this is Chogyam Trungpa's book, okay, and his explanation of all dharmas agree at one point. We could say that all teachings are basically a way of subjugating or shedding our ego. And depending on how much the lesson of the subjugation of ego is taking hold in us, that much reality is presented to us. All dharmas that have been taught are connected with that. There is no other dharma. Okay, so I don't know if that's helping to clarify it. Whether teachings are Hinayana or Mahayana, they all agree. In this particular journey, the practitioner can be put on a scale and his or her commitment can be measured. It's like the scale of justice. If your ego is very heavy, you go down. If your ego is light, you go up. So giving up our personal project of ego aggrandizement and attaining the impersonal project of enlightenment depends on how heavy-handed or how open you are. I'm going to read a little more of his words. The purpose of all of these teachings is to overcome ego. Otherwise, there's no purpose at all. Whatever sutras, scriptures, or commentaries on the teachings of Buddhism that you read, they should all connect with your being and be understood as ways of taming your ego. This is one of the main differences between theism and non-theism, which is religion versus Buddhism, which is a teaching and a practice. Buddhism teaches practices to release your ego, as opposed to, back to his words, theistic traditions tend to build up an individual substance of some kind so that you can then step out and do your own version of so-called bodhisattvic actions, which is the heart mind and the intention to be compassionately loving to others. But in non-theistic Buddhist tradition, we talk in terms of having no being, no characteristics of egohood, and therefore being able to perform a much broader version of bodhisattva activity altogether. So it does go on for 2 pages, and ultimately, okay, here, being aware of the whole environment and bringing that into our basic discipline allows us to become less self-centered and more in contact with the world around us. Less reference point to me and myness. In the Mahayana, when we begin to realize the Bodhisattva principle through practicing bodhicitta, our concern is more with warmth and skillfulness. We realize we have nothing to hang on to in ourselves, so we can give away each time. The basis of such compassion is non-territoriality, non-ego, no ego at all. If you have that, then you have compassion. Then further warmth and workability and gentleness take place as well. All dharmas agrees at one point means that if there is no ego clinging, then all dharmas are one. All teachings are one. That is compassion. In order to have an affectionate attitude towards somebody else, you have to be without ground to begin with. Without ground meaning without ego. Also just floating in to say groundlessness is like no self, which is the ultimate goal of Buddhism, which sounds like the ultimate antithesis, terrifying idea to a Western egocentric, individualistic, is everything mindset. But the meaning of it is to basically say, hey, we are all floating in this world with literally a mystery. Every second is a mystery. You are on a ball that's floating in space, that's circling around another ball that's floating in space, and you are a vibrational being who is temporarily in this physical form. And we know one thing for certain, which is that we're going to die. And so there ultimately is, in Buddhism, the ultimate truth is that life is chaos. It's unpredictable. Life is suffering because you're always going to want things that you can't have. And ultimately you're going to die, and everybody you know is going to die. And so because of that ultimate truth of groundlessness and no self and death, why don't we just enjoy it? Why don't we learn how to love ourselves and everybody else? And we are all one. And so since it kind of all fucking sucks and it's going to end anyway, and everything is suffering and addiction and clinging and craving, why don't we use these modalities to teach ourselves how to suffer less while we're here, how to be more compassionate while we're here, how to love ourselves more and others, which is my actual goal and purpose in life, to expand my willingness and ability to love myself and others. There are no others. Ramana Maharshi.
Questioner, how should we treat others? Ramana Maharshi, there are no others.
That last line, there are no others. So my actual goal is to learn how to love myself and then others, but then to also realize that otherness is a false concept that human beings created to feel egotistical, egomaniacal, to separate self. Racism was created to systemically oppress people based on the color of their skin. Race isn't even a real thing. It's a construct based on hatred. So that's what groundlessness and egolessness and no self is all about. That's the Cliff's version. That's Cliff's Notes versions for those of you who weren't alive in high school in the 80s. Otherwise, you become an egomaniac, trying to attract people out of your seduction and passion alone, or your arrogance. Hello. Like I said, trying to manifest a specific person regardless of circumstances is the ultimate arrogant narcissist, absolutely zero humility and humbleness. Okay, so I'm not going to make this whole crazy long video all about this particular teaching. I think this light is too bright, but it kind of is. This whole video is actually about all dharmas agree at one point. That's actually what this video is saying. That ultimately, the ultimate way of healing your body, your mind, your soul, your heart, your relationships is simple. So no self is referenced to when you sit on the meditation and you try to find the solid who you are. There is no such thing as a solid who are you. There is no solid personality that one can actually hold on to and like, this is my personality. This is me, okay? I found it. It's the core of me. It's the joy core of me. This is the inner cell. And there it is. Ultimately, I'm a vibrational being. I am pure vibration. And so are all of us, in my humble opinion. So in other words, all dharmas agree at one point essentially means that the heart of all the teachings are the same. And regardless of the teaching, the method, the teacher, essentially at the heart of it, we are all one. And the teachings are ultimately the same. And while the deeper truth and the higher truth and the ultimate truth is that we are all one, we are all vibrational beings who will fold back into the vibrational field of everything. While we are human beings, we are egotistical, we are people who crave, we are humans that want things that we cannot have. We want people, pleasure, money, relationships, bodies, all kinds of things that we cannot have, and that does in fact cause suffering. And the way out of suffering is not to manifest anybody you want to and manifest anything you want to and to basically get all your hopes, wishes, and dreams satisfied as tangible things that you can actually hold on to. That's actually not the ultimate joy, because those things all slip away anyway. So the ultimate joy is learning how to relate to yourself healthier day by day, and with the intention that by relating to yourself in a healthier, more loving way, more patient, more understanding way day by day, that you will then use, not hopefully, but intentionally, once you start to relate to yourself in a healthier way, you then learn to relate to other people in a healthier way. And that's the ultimate goal. How to relate to yourself in a healthier way and have healthier relationships so that you can be a healthier, happier person who spreads love in the world. That's the ultimate goal. That's my ultimate goal. Now, I can't tell other people what their ultimate goal is, and I get really irked when other people tell other people what their ultimate goal is. But the ultimate goal in my mind and in my body and in my practice and in my life is to learn how to practice these things so that I can become a happier person, so that I can have happier relationships. And ultimately, you are meant to actually shed the teachings as well. Even in sitting meditation, while sitting meditation practice can be an ongoing lifelong thing, the purpose of meditating is to get your mind and your body connected so that you can live. Sitting on the mat is just a practice so that you can live. It's not a replacement or a spiritual bypass for doing the work and living your life. So I just thought that this was a really nice time to point this out as I've shed people that I was following. I unfollowed them, I unsubscribed, I clicked do not recommend this channel, and I feel lighter. I feel my spirit rising and my ego falling away. And I think it's so beautiful that it's actually really simple, and just like how to be healthy, how to help manage and maintain a healthy weight, healthy lifestyle, healthy body, healthy mind, healthy spirit. It's so basic, it's so simple. Most people think that can't possibly be the answer. Sleep well, drink water, get regular exercise out in the fresh air and the sunlight, get vitamin D from the sun, eat fruits and vegetables. And you do have to have some healthy grains unless you are celiac.
Fruits, vegetables, and grains have the perfect amount of protein for humans. It's a protein myth that you need dead animals or any of their bodily secretions to be healthy.
If you're interested, side note, if you're interested in me doing videos, which I think I'm going to do, talking about how I healed from reproductive problems, and which included being diagnosed and then misdiagnosed with endometriosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, being sterile, amenorrhea, which is the absence of a period, and undiagnosable amenorrhea, and how I healed all of those things. Let me know in the comments, because that's another topic that I would really like to tell my story and possibly help other women out there, help you heal your body if you're interested in a way to do that that won't require you to be, possibly won't require you to be a lifelong pharmaceutical receiver. So I really want to just finish this video by saying there are so many complicated, and even in dieting, how to eat, there are so many, an infinite amount of different versions of ways to do things. Like I said, modalities, methodologies. There's countless religions. Like when people used to ask my dad, do you believe in God? He would always say, well, which one? Which one do you mean? Because there's literally millions of gods. And if you go all throughout history, time, and cultures, there are millions of gods, actual millions of gods. So when you say, do you believe in God? You really mean, do you believe in the God that I believe in?
Or whatever God it is you're referring to.
And the point that I'm getting at is that while there are an infinite amount of gods you can choose, religions you can choose, philosophies, ways of thinking, ways of doing things, ultimately the truth is so simple, and at the heart of it, all the teachings that lead you to healthier mind states, healthier body states, healthier psychological states, healthier spiritual states and physical states and emotional states. Ultimately, even though there can be a lot of seeming differences in all of the methods, the ultimate truth is the same. The ultimate teachings are the same. Happiness comes from being physically safe, physically healthy, mentally stable, mentally able to sit with your emotions and your thoughts, let them come and go like clouds in the sky, as Pema Chodron says, and Thich Nhat Hanh says, and so many of the teachers. Ultimately, you can distill out their words, and it's the same teaching.
Learning how to communicate with yourself and with others without expecting yourself or others to be a mind reader, because nobody reads minds.
You are lovable. Sit with yourself, breathe with yourself, be with yourself, listen to yourself, respect yourself, care about yourself, have strong boundaries, and continue doing the work, the introspective, self-reflective work. Kyle Cease is another teacher. maybe I'll just post the videos that I've shared about who I love, and I still have part 2, the long version, which I never got around to editing and sharing that. But ultimately, all dharmas agree at one point. And Matthew Hussey's popping up in my email today really reminded me, there you are. It's been years. And I let him kind of fade from, I stopped watching his videos and I stopped reading his newsletters. I didn't unsubscribe. He would pop up every now and then I'd click on it, and I'd always get the warmest feeling inside my soul, like, these words are true. So thank you, Matthew Hussey, again, for reminding me that you can run off the path. You yourself can decide, I'm not going to listen to this healthy stuff. I'm not going to eat fruits and vegetables and get a walk every day. But the truth is true, and it's stable, and it's steady. So you can run off the path. You can go off and do all these other things. You can eat the junk food for 3 years every night at 4 a.m. because you're lonely, and even though it's vegan junk food, you're still going to gain a lot of fucking weight. Hello. Okay. And then you can say, well, shit, I got so damn far off the path. I gained like 60 pounds that I didn't want to gain. And you can be confused and feel exasperated, or you can say, oh, the answer is always the same. When you stray from the path, the right way back to the right path, or, the right way forward back onto the right path, it's always the same message. No matter who's telling you the message, no matter how fancy they package it up, no matter how simply they present it to you, eating right, getting your exercise every day, sitting with yourself, being with yourself, those are the basics. True love is a mutual investment. There's no such thing as I'm gonna manifest this person who doesn't want me in a healthy world. There's no such thing as I want you who doesn't want me in a healthy mind state. You can have been broken up with, you can have been divorced, you can have been left by what you thought was the love of your life, but it's never going to change the fact that you're not the exception to the rule. You're not somehow above it all. The rules apply to you. True love, real love, in loveness love is a mutual investment where both people are reciprocating and investing in each other and wanting it and being there committed with each other. That's healthy love. And any other version that any other so-called teacher out there is teaching you about, you can manifest anybody regardless of circumstances, and what they said and did doesn't matter, what you said and did doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. No, scratch, delete, unsubscribe. Do not recommend this channel, because I don't want to hear nonsense like that. I don't want to see titles anymore that say things like, get somebody to do anything you want to. Get your SP obsessed with you. No. That's the other point. Now that I'm back on track in a healthy mindset, in a mind state, the things that are unhealthy, they immediately cringe. No. And that's what I was able to recognize, even when I was like caught up in the midst and in the middle of being obsessed with trying to manifest a specific person. I still was able to recognize healthy people don't get trapped here. Healthy people don't get caught on a hill of their own fantasy where that other person is nowhere near. Like Matthew Hussey once described, a relationship is like building a house. And if you're over there building the house on an island all by yourself, and that person is nowhere near you, not investing, not giving their input, not making the plans along with you, not building side by side with you, brick by brick, then you are obsessed in a fantasy by yourself. You have spun off a storyline and you're living through that, not through a shared reality. So I just find it really beautiful in a sense that even though I loved Matthew Hussey, and then I just kind of I went far away from his messaging is still correct and accurate. And now that I'm back to, I'm ready to really be more healthy, there he is again. There he is still. He's still there, and he's always been there. He never left. I was the one that strayed. But I'm back saying the same healthy things. Because the truth is always the truth. And the snake oil salesman will also always be there, selling you a pipe dream and a bullshit sundae, a bullshit smoothie. So if you don't want to churn the butter on the bullshit, and you're interested in how to actually find some practical ways to improve the way you think about yourself, improve the way you look at life, improve the hope that you have for your own joy, and you want to start wanting better, you want to start wanting more for yourself, wanting better for yourself, and you like my particular message, like I said, there are millions of teachers out there, and some of them are very technical, old-fashioned kind of words that you have to translate into English concepts. And some are like Matthew Hussey. He's English from England. But, he's very easy to understand. He's very, sometimes, that's what I was saying, sometimes the most basic answer, it seems so ridiculous because it's so simple, that it seems like there is no way that you can get healthy, that you can heal your body, you can heal multiple complex reproductive issues, actual infertility and amenorrhea, by stop eating dairy, which is estrogen, pumped up with hormones, estrogen, progesterone, prolactin, bovine growth hormone, bovine leukemia, bovine cancer, on and on the list grows of disgusting stuff in dairy. Antibiotics and all kinds of pharmaceuticals and pus, and there's so many things wrong with it. Duh, you have health issues. Duh. But people prefer the complexity, the super high level technology. People don't like simple basic stuff. It just makes them feel. Well, actually, I heard a while ago that when they first made the box for the how to make a cake, you know why they added an egg? They added egg because they said they felt like women thought it was just too simple. Just pouring the mix into the box and mixing it with a little bit of liquid, add water. They just felt like women didn't feel like they were cooking enough. I mean, that's so sexist and all that stuff, but they were like, throw in an egg, plus we got a lot of excess eggs, and we need to sell these bitches. Do you know why dairy's in most things? Because it's cheap. It's cheap for them because they have too much, and so they just put it in shit. It's just it's just an add-on. It adds texture and all this stuff. It also adds a lot of diseases. A lot of diseases. And the simple answers, a lot of people are not interested in simple answers. They want complex answers. But sometimes sticking to the most basic thing is the right way to do the thing. It doesn't need to be complex. It just needs to be true. And it needs to be consistent. All right, I gotta go. See, the most challenging thing people have, I feel, is not in understanding that the answer is easy. Fix your life easily. What did I write down? The easy answer, the truth, always the same. Fix your life easily. I'm not saying it's easy to do, but it's easy to know what to do. and the fact that it's easy to know what to do, it's easy to know what's the truth, then you can easily keep getting back to the path. And also, like Pema Chodron says, if you're sitting on the meditation mat and you realize you've slumped, just gently. You don't whip yourself back. You don't say, "Get up, you fool. You're fucking good for nothing, useless bitch. Get." No. Maybe that's the voice in your head. Maybe that's the whip cracking parents that you had. But you can learn how to love yourself through learning how to like yourself, through learning how to understand these basic things. How can your body be healthy? By eating fruits and vegetables, earth provided food for us. You don't need to kill a living being to be healthy. You don't need to eat chickens' menstrual cycles. You don't need to take a bovine beast and take their breast milk that's meant to grow an 800-pound baby into a 1,500-pound toddler by a year, by 12 months, at 18 months old. That baby cow is meant to become a 1,500-pound baby from the breast milk. And y'all up here eating that shit. We have human beings at 7, 8-pound babies. At a year and a half, you're 30 pounds? 40 pounds? And then you wonder why. You got problems. You've got sinus problems, headaches. You've got menstrual problems. You've got all kinds of problems. You've got fibroids, and it's really simple though. The answers are simple, but people like to be complex. People like complex, super challenging, high technology, sounds so fancy. Yeah, but a lot of that stuff is straight up killing us. When all you need to do is eat fruits and vegetables, get some sunshine, sleep right, drink healthy water, sit with yourself, talk about your feelings. When somebody likes you, they like you. It's obvious. It's like that phrase that says, if you have to ask the question, the answer is no, as far as somebody's romantic interest in you. If you feel confused, the answer is no. And people hate the easy answer because it's like staring in the mirror and seeing that you're the problem, but being so unable to accept it that you will go 40 years on a journey around the world in the opposite direction. I'm telling my life. Only to get back and finally get to the magic, the treasure. Open up that goddamn treasure chest. Open up that mystery door that I've been chasing all my life. What is the answer? Boom! There it is. The Pandora's box of mystery. The forbidden knowledge, the forbidden truth, blinding me with the reality that, oh, it was just my unhealed trauma and my unseen wounds haunting me, begging to be seen, to be taken out of Pandora's box, to be shown the light of day, to get some fresh air, to dust it off, and then to just release it, to excavate and exhume those skeletons of my unseen, unhealed traumas that were off-gassing their toxic coping mechanisms into my life, into every thought I had, into every breath I took, and into every interaction that I interacted, and into every relationship that I tried to relate. There it was, my unhealed traumas begging to be healed, to be seen, just to be heard, to be given the time that it takes to be seen and understood so that it could be released. me. The same old motherfucking me I ran away from 40 years ago. Oh, I'm the answer. There it is. It's me. It's always been me. And I ran around the world trying to find myself. So I thought I said I had to go. I did. Okay, goodbye. Hello, I'm in the middle of making a video while I was in the middle editing another video, and then my brand new electric blanket arrived. So I'm so excited, and I thought, let me just do an unboxing video. So I hope that it's going to be wonderful. I'm already getting toasted up.